Ms. Rempel-Garner, it is your floor for 6 minutes.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Speaker. Speaker, you're responsible for overseeing the harassment policy for the House of Commons. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Would you characterize a physical altercation between members in the chamber as a potential instance of harassment?
Well, to be clear, that would be more of I should just modify the first. I'm responsible for the sexual harassment between members, as it was listed. If there was a physical altercation, yes, that would be behavior that would be considered unbecoming.
Thank you. On May 18th, 2016, the Prime Minister grabbed late Conservative MP Gord Brown by the arm and then elbowed former NDP MP Ruth Ellen Brosseau in the chest. Ms. Brosseau expressed that she had been injured, and in that moment, you're recorded on the Hansard as saying, you described Ms. Brosseau's complaint as reminiscent of a dive in the 2006 World Cup, and that she was exaggerating. On what basis did you arrive at the finding that Ms. Brosseau was either diving or exaggerating what had happened in the House?
If I recall, my statement on that wasn't in regard to Madame Brosseau's accounting of the incident, but of other folks' accounting of the incident, which was...
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So are you saying she experienced it differently than what she had said in the House?
No, I think she experienced it exactly the way she expressed it in the House.
Yet you said it was... I'm just curious at how you arrived that it was a dive.
I was commenting on how other people were characterizing not what Madame Brosseau had said, but what other people had described it as being.
Well, your exact statement was it happened exactly as the Prime Minister had described it. So I guess that's your statement, and you're now responsible for overseeing the harassment policy. Given that this instance and the numerous instances of partisanship you've been accused of while you've been sitting in your term as chair, do you think that opposition MPs would feel safe or empowered to report instances of any sort of harassment, given that this department comes under your supervision?
They could have complete confidence that issues of harassment, if it's raised, will be given the full and treatment under my office.
I don't think so, Speaker. Oftentimes women don't report harassment because men in spaces of power where they have demonstrable past experiences of holding on to that power and protecting those in their circle, that's where justice isn't served. And so my concern with your partisanship is mostly to do with this issue. We are discussing a very serious issue here. This is something that impacts all MPs. And I am not sure that if I reported something to you, that you would treat me fairly, that I wouldn't have my issue twisted for partisan gain because of the repeated instances of partisanship. And that's why I have lost faith in your speakership. So given all of this, do you think that the fact that I have to ask this question or make these statements will prevent MPs or staff members coming forward from reporting instances of harassment because of your track record in this issue?
I don't believe so. I believe that members should feel fully confident in my ability to ensure that they are given every and to the fullest extent of the rules that have been set forward by the House of Commons to bring, when they bring forward serious issues, such as harassment, especially sexual harassment, that it would be treated with the utmost seriousness and to the fullest extent possible.
Yet in the moment when you had an opportunity as a peer in the House of Commons to give a woman space and hear her argument out, your exact words were this: what happened was exactly as the Prime Minister had described it. If I came in and I said, this happened with a Liberal member or a Conservative member, whose side would you take?
I would clearly want to make sure that the process was entirely fair and that your story and that your concerns would be raised and pursued to the fullest possible extent.
How can I have that assurance?
That could happen.
How can I have that assurance
I'm
when you've had three clear instances of like being partisan while in the chair? Forget the fact that you were the Prime Minister's parliamentary secretary. Like, I'm saying this out of deep severity. That is, I believe you've lost my confidence because of this issue. You are in charge of the harassment policy, something that is very serious because it governs the workplace safety of everybody here. I just want to end with this. I don't understand why the NDP, given that this happened with one of their colleagues, is still propping you up. I don't get that. But again, I just want to give you, how could you in that moment, in showing a judge of fairness, supposed fairness, how could you arrive that this woman experienced it differently and that the Prime Minister, what basis did you use to make that comment in 2016?
Well, I can tell you that I never questioned Ruth Ann Brousseau's accounting of the situation.
You did. You said, I believe him, not I believe her. And that is what is wrong with every workplace around the world. And yet you demonstrated that in that moment. And deeply disappointing.
We have about 10 seconds left. Mr. Speaker, did you want to
just very
respond to that?
quickly, once again, never doubted her accounting, and my characterization of it at the time was due to how
to gaslight me on that right now?
Mr. Trempel-Garner, I think either we have to let the clock run or we have to afford the Speaker the opportunity to respond. Mr. Speaker, did you want to take the last few seconds, or do you feel satisfied with the response?
I would just like to say that, again, just to make sure that the record stands, that my description of that event was an accounting of what other people had described her event,
Yeah, I
and
believe
not how
him.
she
I
had
got
put it
it.
on.
Okay, thank you very much.